Hey Mejo 531, my name is Peyton Walker, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about a PR crisis that took place back in January that resulted from the lead character in NBC's hit show This Is Us dying due to a house fire that was started by a crock pot. People literally started freaking out and said they were never using crock pot ever again out of fear that they could start house fires like the one portrayed in the show. I chose this case mainly because I think that the way both Crock-Pot and NBC responded was hilarious. Literally, I could not stop laughing. And I found this use of humor to be incredibly unique, and it actually ended up being a big success for all the parties involved. So before we jump in, a little background on NBC. NBC stands for National Broadcasting Company. It is the oldest broadcasting network in the US, founded in 1926 in New York City. It has some broadcasts that are primarily informational, but it's also known for its widely popular TV shows like Seinfeld, Chicago PD, Friends, and one of its most recent claims to fame is the new drama series This Is Us. Brief background on that, This Is Us is an American drama series that tells of a family who has experienced both joy and pain and how the little moments in life really impact the people that we become. It first aired in September 2016 and has gained millions of viewers ever since. And lastly, just a quick history on Crock-Pot. In 1936, a man named Irving Naxon applied for a patent for an idea he had for an insert to be held up by a heated case, which would then allow the insert to get hot and cook food all day long. The idea was inspired by a Jewish stew his mother used to make that would cook all day during the Sabbath, a day when Jews aren't supposed to do any work. In the early 1970s, Naxon sold his idea to a manufacturing company who branded the product as a crock pot. It was advertised to working mothers who could come home to a ready-to-eat meal after a long day at the office. It became wildly popular, and today it is a common household appliance. My mother makes a mean pot roast in it, shout out to you. And now it's time for the case. So to give you a bit of an idea of what happened, I'm going to play a montage of the episode where you see the crock pot catching on fire. To kind of recap what ends up happening, the whole house catches on fire and Jack actually runs back inside to rescue their family dog and ends up inhaling a lot of smoke and later dies of cardiac arrest. So again, people were freaking out. Many were taking to Twitter saying things like, me deleting my crockpot recipes board from Pinterest after watching the latest episode of #ThisIsUs, me throwing away my crockpot because it killed Jack, #ThisIsUs, and me running to my kitchen to unplug my crockpot even though I haven't used it in weeks. Thanks, #ThisIsUs. So those are just some of the tweets, but literally these kinds of responses were setting social media ablaze, kind of like the crockpot. Before I jump into the company's responses, I want to first call attention to the legality of this issue. One of the first questions that came into my head when learning about this case was whether or not Crock-Pot could sue NBC for product disparagement. The problem with that is that this would be a very difficult case for Crock-Pot to win. The company would have to prove 1. That the statement was false and that it is indeed impossible for a crock-pot to short circuit. 2. That NBC intentionally tried to hurt Crock-Pot's brand. And 3. That the company actually experienced financial loss. Instead, Crock-Pot chose to approach things a bit more lightheartedly. In addition to issuing a statement saying that all its slow cookers exceed testing protocols, have low wattage, are self-regulated, and that an accident like the one displayed in the show is nearly impossible, Crock-Pot also took to some other creative mediums to assuage viewers. It launched a Twitter page to tweet replies like, "We get why people are upset, but in all seriousness, we want people to know that they are safe when using a Crock-Pot slow cooker. And we're trying to ease the heartache, but we know it's hard. Seriously though, Crock-Pot Cares stands by the safety of our products." It also took to its Facebook page to release a hilarious statement that I cannot get through without laughing, but here it goes. "This is us, spoiler alert. We're still trying to mend our broken hearts after watching This Is Us on Tuesday night. America's favorite dad and husband deserved a better exit, and Crock-Pot shares in your devastation. Don't further add to this tragedy by throwing your Crock-Pot slow cooker away. It's hard to pass something down from generation to generation if you throw it away. Grandma won't be too happy. Spending time with his family while enjoying comfort food from his crock-pot was one of his favorite things to do. Let's all do our part and honor his legacy in the kitchen with Crock-Pot. XOXO Crock-Pot, forever in your heart and forever in your home." It's too good. This Is Us creator Dan Fogelman also tried to undo some of the damage by tweeting, taking a moment to remind everyone that it was a 20-year-old fictional crockpot with an already funky switch. Let's not just lump all those lovely hard-working crockpots together. Hashtag This Is Us. And continuing the humorous trend, NBC aired a commercial the weekend of the Super Bowl, which was when the next episode was set to air, in which actor Milo Ventimiglia, who plays Jack in the show, urges people to forgive Crockpot. Take a look.
The big game is fast approaching, and for many of us, this day brings an opportunity to gather with friends and family, loved ones that we don't get to see all that often. But in 2018, gathering with friends and family is it's not as easy as what it used to be. You know, the country's divided, and sometimes that can make it tough to find common ground. But this year, I think we should all take a deep breath, find the ability to forgive, and remind ourselves there is no difference so great that we can't overcome it.
The public loved it. On February 3rd, the day that the ad aired, digital engagement with Crockpot reportedly increased 84%, and there were 2,000 tweets with the hashtag #CrockpotIsInnocent. Since then, media on the issue has kind of died down, as predicted by numerous crisis and communications managers. The most recent news I could find on it happened about 3 weeks ago when Milo Ventimiglia guest starred on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen and was asked if he personally was brave enough to use a crockpot.
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, no, I've got a crock pot at home. I've got an all-clad slow cooker. I'm big on slow cooking. I'd probably make some kind of lentil dish, maybe some like good vegetables, or I might do something kind of like for the next morning, some kind of like oats or something fun.
Casserole?
Totally.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much. He is not afraid of a slow cooker, people. Yes.
Not at all.
One might have thought maybe that you would have run from a slow cooker.
No.
Yes.
No, I would run toward a slow cooker.
You would?
I would run toward
Wow.
a slow cooker.
All
Yeah.
right.
So now it's kind of passed over, and I think that's largely because these companies chose to approach the crisis in a way that was professional. Crockpot tried to inform users why its product is safe, but also because they made it humorous. I think that had they taken this issue very seriously and made a big deal out of it, they could have ended up exacerbating the issue. But by choosing to address it in a lighthearted manner, they ended up generating a lot of positive press out of it. I know I personally was already a huge Crockpot fan, but after this case, I'm an even bigger Crockpot fan. I would have chosen to handle this case the same way just because it proved out to be a huge success, and I think it will serve as a PR booster for Crockpot in years to come. And that's it. Thanks so much.